Fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off at checkout at c4energy.com. On Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the widest array of content here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're the first to know when new episodes are available. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey. My name is Scott Schweitzer. I am the Clydesdale. She is Cheryl Nasso. She's my nutrition coach. And we do this live check-in every week to hold me accountable and to help you guys out in the process. And it's good to see everybody in the chat so early already. All the good friends in there, Damian, Kenneth, Corey, and whoever else is here. ACR, who made fun of me this morning in the Savon chat, but that's okay. I love her anyway.
I didn't watch Savon yet today. What was the topic today?
It was just something weird. I was trying to help Savon. He's trying to hardwire a phone into the soundboard. And Elise said, the only thing you could help with is by telling him how to mute yourself.
Oh man, that's a good one. We need to get you a shirt, dude. You're on mute. This guy just said you're on mute. I get Vindicate. Come on, he's got to be able to get that up. You're on mute. Like that's just all I was gotta say. Everybody will know. So
yeah, Tyson Bagent was on today. He's the Bears backup quarterback. Yeah. And he was a CrossFitter as a kid. His dad was the announcer at the first couple CrossFit games. And you probably know him. You were there. Mm-hmm. What's his name? It starts with Travis Bagent.
Yep.
He was the floor announcer at the first.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Did he possibly work with Progenics as well?
Well, he was like an 18-time world arm wrestling champion.
He actually may have been either sponsored by them because I believe that I might have done a Progenics thing with him.
He was sponsored, but he got in tight with Savon and Dave and all those guys back in the day, and then he was a floor announcer. And he told everybody back then that his son was going to play in the NFL, and nobody believed him. And now his son's playing in the NFL.
I love that. Freaking underdog. Love it. Awesome. Okay, so I want to go into today's topic, but I just happened to look at your weight. And it's, dude, the second you start tracking your food, it's like, I'm like 290 today, guys.
I will tell you too, the other thing that's happened to me, and it goes along with the topic for today, and that is, like, I had an epiphany probably last Thursday. I think it was about last Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday. And my mood is like so much better, and I'm sleeping like a rock, and I'm like all of that like is meshing together, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm almost in the 280s.
Tomorrow. go sweat it out like an old weightlifter wrestler. No. Dude, this is
I never ever put that on myself because this is usually where I get like a mini plateau because I want it so bad that then I just stress myself out over it, and then it doesn't happen. So I'm trying to be cool.
But listen, I know your body. The second you start tracking your food again, it's like clockwork. Your body responds, you're hitting your protein intake. Well, Sunday was a little off, but you're definitely in a good spot. So how is energy? Well, let's kind of roll through your check-in, and then we'll talk about today's topic. All right. How's energy, mood, mental focus?
Everything's great.
You already said sleep was good.
Did a lot of yard work. Cleared all the leaves in my yard this weekend. Everything's awesome.
And wasn't that so good to also clear your brain too?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I'm a homeowner, and I mow my own lawn. I could pay somebody. forget that shit. I'm gonna get out there on my little push mower. And it's like the first couple of times I'd put my headphones in and listen to a podcast. Lately, I've been like, you know what? Like, just take a break from ingesting things and listen to what's going on up here. And it's like so nice to just be able to just do that. It's hard to do, but it's good. So that's why I said, isn't it nice to just clear your head a little bit? I mean, I think it's great. So everything there is going good. Let's talk about Jim. Did you get in? I'm looking at the. You want? Are we going over these chats right now?
We don't have to. No.
Okay, I'm liking it by their facial hair. I like it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, we're both trying to hit it.
Yeah, we both tried to hit it. I also think that it's funny that Corey mentioned progenics is still a thing, barely. Somebody else, what's a progenics? Kenneth asked that. Back in the day, progenics was like the supplement company. They were like the CrossFit protein powder. And I'm going to be honest, their protein still, to this day, I think tastes the best. I'll be honest. I don't know what they put in it, but that cookies and cream with the little cookie bits, oh my God. I don't even know if people remember that. That was some good shit. Okay.
I would say they tasted really good.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think Extend does a great job too, but they don't have many flavors.
Agreed. But Extend is pretty good protein.
Right.
Yeah. Extend is good. Peace Science and First Form. I think that those are the ones that I would recommend. But yes. So yeah, this facial isn't like November, like no shave November. Isn't that what it's supposed to be? Mustang. What is it?
Yeah. So it's kind of opposite for me. Because my beard grows so fast.
Yeah.
Like this is the time where I feel like, okay, I can shave a little bit.
Yeah.
But I could have a beard back in 3 days.
I could talk beard talk all day because I got two brothers and I got one that his beard is like Wolfman, like doesn't want to get rid of it. And then the other brother that like desperately wants a beard and he's got like patches. I'm like, dude, we got to do something with this. Like, can we get some Rogaine, like fill in the spots? It's just pretty funny. I could talk beard talk because my brothers. It's just funny. But all right. So check-in notes. Did you make it to the gym? How's the gym stuff going? Getting into the Polaris, or you've been working at home?
Combination of both, which I think is going to be kind of the natural feel.
Yeah.
With the way work's going, is there some days I can make it there, some days I can't. But I'm blessed to have a garage with a lot of equipment.
Absolutely. It's a blessing in disguise, right? Actually, it's just a blessing. It's not really in disguise. I did listen a little bit I started listening to the roundtable. I heard that you started doing Chad, and I'm very proud of you for eating your ego and cutting it off at 50.
Well, I will tell you, I actually cut it off at 250.
Oh, okay. 250.
But the workout you gave me for the squats made that almost impossible.
But you're going to be a squat ninja by the end of this month. Like,
oh my goodness.
The thing about squats is like the amount. It's funny because somebody asked me today. She was out. It was a Saturday. She's like, "Can you give me a workout to do?" I'm like, "When in doubt, just squat." Because if you squat, like you're gonna get a good workout. It works everything. So I'm gonna see how you're feeling on that too, because I got to give you your workouts for this week. How are your legs feeling today?
So we did lunges at the gym yesterday, which was great after what you gave me.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry, yawning. Lunges after Chad.
So just so the audience, so I did the first workout you gave me, 5 sets, max squats with push-ups at the end of each set, and then taking 2 minutes rest, another set. So my reps went 25, 23, 18, 18, 18.
Hell yeah.
And then what doesn't seem to bother me much. I don't mind a wall sit. Is something wrong?
You broke up a little bit.
Okay. I'm having some internet issues and I don't know why.
It's all right.
But
the wall sit one wasn't too bad.
Like, I don't mind wall sitting. it wasn't the wall sit that got me. It was the lunges. I hate lunges.
Yeah.
So you did that. And then the last one, my ego got in the way. It was 1 minute window, 10 calorie assault bike. And then in the remaining time, max squats until I reached 50.
Mm-hmm.
So I blew out the first 10 cows in about 9 seconds.
Oh my God.
And I hammered out 20 squats in the first minute.
That's awesome.
And it ended up taking me 7 minutes because like I fell off hard.
Yeah. It's
That
I
minute rest,
messaged you. Yeah.
the minute rest was not enough.
I messaged him and I'm like, how fast? Because I wanted something that would take you about like 30 seconds. I was like, all right, like I'm like, how hard would you, how long would it take you to do 10 calories? I was wondering if you're gonna blow it. But that's what I was really working on is leg endurance. And I made day 2 to be a little bit of a breakup because with squatting, especially if you're not diligent on mobility, you don't want to get your legs so tight that like your knees start bothering you and all that stuff. So I like to build a little bit more of a moderate day. And so I'll send you 3 more today after we get off of this. So how are you doing with your mobility? Because that was something else that you were making sure that you're staying consistent with obviously with your back and everything. Have you been keeping up with that?
So that's become a ritual before bed every night,
Good.
to really stretch out my back. I will tell you that what I've experienced this week is cramping in my core.
Mm.
And so I've upped like my rehydration
I was gonna
stuff
say
from a
sodium,
10,
potassium, electrolytes. Yeah.
trying to take that up a little bit. But my gosh, when you get a stomach cramp, like
Yep.
it's hard to get comfortable or to get it
Yep.
stretched out. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, you're wonderful coach. Yesterday was my first day back in the gym. And what's the first workout of the week? It has 150 GHD sit-ups, 30 rope climbs, and a few double unders sprinkled in. I was so sore today. Like, but I feel better being back in the gym. So I'm excited for that. And my doctor told me yesterday, he's like, get back to the gym. You're okay. I was like, okay. But anyways.
But
So
do you have limits at the gym?
my issue right now at the gym is just watching my heart rate. It's really the intensity. Likely yesterday, I mean, I actually thought I'd be more sore, but I I feel fine. I actually feel better today than I did like last week. It's really what I'm fighting is the fatigue, like throughout the day. But I'm also like not pushing myself that hard. Not giving you guys an update on Cheryl. I gave an update earlier today, but yeah, my first workout back was probably a little overkill. I probably should have not done that many, but it is what it is. So anyway, so gym is going well. Any updates on your documentary?
No.
Breaking it.
No.
Hey, dude, listen, there ain't no rush. And I'm asking about that because I want to talk to you more about the topic for today. Why do we question our self-worth? I want to, this is so, so important. And even with where I'm at right now in my life as well. So I want you to fill us in on this whole thing, this topic.
Okay.
Why the title? Yes.
Why the title?
Mm-hmm.
So for a couple weeks I've said like I've been in a funk. I don't like I'm having hard times reconciling things with the podcast. Trying to figure out where I belong, what it and for people that like this is the love of my life. Other than my wife and daughter, this podcast, this media company is the love of my life. It is what brings me the most amount of joy. And I want it, and it has been that for me for 4 years. We just hit our 4-year anniversary at the November 1st. And I love it. Coming after the games this year, I didn't know where we belonged. And behind the scenes, there's a lot of dynamics in like the podcast world And I don't need to bore everybody with that, or I don't want to call anybody out, but I had to figure out what all that meant for me. And at the end of the day, I can only, and I know that people said this to me along the way, but you have to come to your own realization. And during all of that reflection, I didn't know if I was good enough. Like, I was questioning my own abilities during that time. And I've said this like along the journey through this podcast and media company, that one of my first guests ever was Matt O'Keefe, like episode 13. And we're at like 7 something, right? And that is that no matter what happens, just make sure nobody can outwork you.
Mm-hmm.
If nobody outworks you, then you're going to be fine. And last week I came to the resolution that, like, use all this stuff as fuel, right? To motivate what I want to accomplish, to be the best me I can be, not the best anybody else. And I am good enough. And there are people that love what I do, and I love what I do. And I have a good support group that loves what I do. And I just have to, I have to go back to the roots and say, nobody's going to outwork me. And so what I've done is I've developed relationships with people. I've done some other things in the background that are setting me up for success going into the next year. But I'm doing it in a way that makes me happy, not a way that anybody else would do it, but a way that, like, makes me happy and that I can reconcile with.
Yeah. So
At
what
the end
I'm
of the day.
what I'm hearing a little bit of that I just kind of wrote down is that, we're also in a time where when you first started your podcast, you were the only one really doing what you were doing. There was some other podcasts out there, but the podcasting space, there wasn't many CrossFit podcasts that did what you guys did. There was no roundtable there, and there still isn't. There was no CrossFit chat. There wasn't anything like that. There wasn't anybody that was bringing the news. And I think that what might have happened is, I'm going to be honest, you guys were the OG, right? You owned this space when you first started, 100%. And what I'm hearing a little bit of is post games, right? Like, there's a lot of pushback. We talk about the popularity contest and all that kinds of stuff. Now there's other people engulfing in your territory. And it's really hard to not feel a little bit of fret, a little bit of like, hey, am I good enough for this? These people are getting more followers and more this and more that. And the comparison game tends to take us away from feeling happy about what we're doing, because now we're so worried about, like, what do I got to do differently? What do I got to do? Maybe you don't have to do anything differently. Maybe you have exactly what you need. And it's just really owning that. Like, this is what we do. We have a roundtable where we talk about things, and not just about the top level athletes in the sport, but hey, we also go to a gym and we do things like try and get ring muscle ups at however old Amy is. And we relate to the people in this space that also, like, value this stuff. Like, you guys bring something different to the table. And I think what I'm really hearing is that your self-worth was kind of being stripped from you because you were measuring it off of how it compares to other people, and are you getting what you want? And now you're in a place where you do want to be on top again and be that person. And I think that the really cool thing is, like, nobody in this space, it's the same thing in nutrition coaching and in podcasting world. You guys aren't competing for followers, because the people that follow Savan and Brian Friend and Coffee Pods and Wads and Talking Elite Fitness. And guess what? They also have all you guys on their podcasts, and they're like, ooh, what episode here? What episode here? Like, that's the reality of it. Like, they're literally going around knowing that every person is going to give them a little something else. And that's a really cool thing to be a part of. So what I think I'm hearing is your self-worth was being stripped from you a little bit because it was making you think about what you didn't have and not what you already had created. You guys were the OGs, plain and simple. You're on mute.
There are some aspects of it that is the genesis of it. I will say that. There were some other things that I want to keep private that were going on behind the scenes that kind of had to be dealt with as well. But now that that's been done, like, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to move on at 100%. I'm ready to keep doing what we do. And yeah. And when I started this, I had no concept that we would even be as big as we are today. Like, to be where we are today, sometimes you just have to take a step back and see how far you've climbed up the mountain before you continue the journey.
Absolutely.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I just needed to like reconcile some things and take a look at that journey and see how far I've come and see what I've accomplished and be okay with that. And then head down, keep moving forward.
I think that this is also a really good time of year for this kind of stuff, is reflection, right? Because going into the new year, like, you can start by not doing anything right now and literally just thinking about what you want your 2024 to look like. Your 2024 season of media coverage. Like, what is it you want to do? You're going to go to the Legends, you're going to see some things there. And then it's like, what does your 2024, season want to look like for you? Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Like, what do you want to be known for at these places? Like, do you want to do the athlete interviews? Do you want to do, like, what is it that you want to do? Like, and really asking yourself what brings you the most excitement. And really, really, that's where you're going to create your self-worth, because that now you're doing what feels authentic to you. So that's my thoughts on that. Not a weight loss talk, but self-worth is a huge piece of it. Because guess what? When you're not feeling good about other areas of your life, usually nutrition, motivation goes down the window, right? Like, it's just out the window. It's just, nobody does it. And now look at this week. Your mood's better. You're freaking tracking your food, no excuses, and we're in a good spot. I love it.
Well, and I think the parallel is that, when I started with you, I was 416 pounds. And I'm now at 290.2. And like, there were parts even that am I doing a good enough job in this nutrition plan to get to where I'm going? Like, where I want to go. You look in the mirror and you're like, man, I'm not happy with that. But then you look at a picture from 2 years ago and you're like, holy shit. Mm-hmm. I think that weight loss is the same way. I probably was in a little bit of a head funk with that too. Like, I had to stop, look at the journey that I've taken so that I can continue the journey on.
But you have to realize, you are one of my favorite types of clients. Why? Because when it's time to work, you go to work. But you're also patient with yourself. Do you know how many people quit when they like have a tough patch or a rough patch and they never lose the weight? You've lost an entire Coach Cheryl. You have 290, 416, you said, so that's 390. I'm 125 pounds. You've lost an entire Coach Cheryl. You've taken one of me off of your body. That's pretty fucking amazing, excuse my language. And that's not an easy task. And if you aren't patient in the journey and you don't allow yourself experiences, date nights with your wife, vacations, time spent focusing on other things, and then learning how to like blend that with time focused on your weight loss goals, like, you never achieve them. And I think somebody in here, Damien, wrote, I heard that if you're going to fall forward, not back, take the chances and risks. 100%. And like, you are an example of that. Like, that's just, you keep going, and that's awesome. Like, Think of it this way. 2 years ago, let's just say you lose another 50 pounds. You're 240. When's the last time you were 240?
I didn't even get that low the last time I lost.
Hell yeah. And guess what? Better thing here is that because you're doing this in a way that your body, your brain, and everything is adapting, you're not being restrictive, you're still having flexibility, your chances of weight regain are minimal because you're building all of the structure into your life that has made it natural. Even when you're not tracking, it's not like you're going to freaking Wawa's and grabbing a freaking croissant sandwich. You're still eating the same thing. You just didn't track it that day. And every once in a while, yeah, you have your pizza, you have your pretzel, or whatever it is. So I totally get it.
Two things.
Yeah. So I totally get it. But that's, like that's awesome. And that's sustainability. In fact, going into this holiday season, people need to be more like you know? So speaking of holidays, next week is Thanksgiving. Are you traveling to see mom?
So I'm actually leaving Friday, spending the weekend with her because my daughter wants to spend Thanksgiving here.
Okay. So you have Thanksgiving at mom's this weekend and then Thanksgiving at your house next week.
Yeah, but at my mom's, it won't be Thanksgiving. We're not doing like any of the traditional food.
If I remember correctly, doesn't you guys do like you guys bring a dish, like, or if she makes a dish of your favorite? Fill me in again. I believe she does like you guys all have a dish and she makes it.
We've done that in the past, but this year it's just my wife and I going.
Okay.
So she just asked what we were in the mood for. And back in the day when I was young and we were poor, my mom would make this potato soup. It was so good.
Sounds good.
And
Already.
that's what we're having Friday night for our Thanksgiving meal.
It sounds like comfort food. Like I'm just envisioning like a creamy soup with like some kind of either a smoky meat, like a bacon or a ham, chunks of potatoes. What else? Maybe a little bit of cheese. Am I right?
No cheese. And actually, my mom always just put hot dogs in it because
Smoky meat, whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah.
So where she's going to make it the poor man's dish we had when I was a kid.
You know what's funny growing up? You know what my grandfather used to make all the time? Pea soup with little hot dogs in it. He would make pea soup. Or if we did have ham, he would always save the ham hock and then we would use that for pea soup. But we used to have, and I didn't like it. You know what else my grandfather used to do? He used to cut up little hot dogs and put them in my eggs too. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
that with like pastrami sandwiches.
Ooh.
And that's our meal for the evening.
Yeah. I am actually hosting Thanksgiving. So I was actually asking listeners today, like, I'm trying to figure out, I know the dinner is traditional. I know my family's very simple, mashed potatoes, turkey, cranberry. In fact, they like that jelly cranberry. I just never could eat that. Stuffing, they don't like the stuffing in the bird. They like the freaking stovetop stuffing, which is fine with me. I'm going to make all that stuff, but it's the hors d'oeuvres that I'm like, I don't want to be cooking a bunch and then cooking again. So I wanted to kind of do things that are like not keeping me like cooking all day. So I think I'm going to do like, they like the little hot dogs in a blanket, the croissants. I'll do those. I'll make some deviled eggs. I'm going to make some little cocktail meatballs and then probably just do like some, different things, crackers and cheese and chips and stuff. You'll be in Port St. Lucie for Thanksgiving. That's awesome. That's where I live.
Your food list. I think he is coming to eat your food.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody can come to my house. It's an open book. I shouldn't say that. You end up having some crazy people show up at my house. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, Judy. I'm doing the crock pot, some little cocktail meatballs, the little hot dogs, keeping it just traditional, simple. I found I kind of want to make some I kind of want to make those like how they make those little like cookies that look like turkeys and stuff. I wanted to do something like that to have on the table during the day, and I might do something like that. It just depends. But yeah, so that's my Thanksgiving plans. But I guess your sister lives in Port St. Lucie, which is awesome. I often don't realize that Port St. Lucie is getting much more popular. You know, when I grew up, there was nothing here but like dirt roads, and now it's like I don't even live in Port St. Lucie. I live west. I live in Tradition, which is it's Port St. Lucie, but they call it like its own little town. And I'll be honest, I very rarely go into the Port St. Lucie city. I literally live right off the highway, and I kind of avoid it.
So
Deviled
Kenneth says,
eggs. Yep.
I'll go anywhere for some deviled eggs. So
Yeah.
my daughter sent me a meme that was like, I love it when the fight starts over the last deviled egg.
Yeah.
And I said, the way you beat that is you grab the first 4.
Yeah. It's funny, but my family does. They like deviled eggs. They like traditional stuff, very American Italian, really. You know, so, but that's really our Thanksgiving is so traditional. It's just basic, but yeah.
And then just to this that Judy brought up, the crock pot meatballs or mini hot dogs. At our wedding, my wife and I had teeny weenies in a crock pot that we brought ourselves and put on the catering table because I wanted those at our wedding.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And
That's
they were
awesome.
gone so fast.
Yeah. So I feel like Thanksgiving, you're gonna do fine. You did fine last year, Thanksgiving. I'm not even worried about you. You're so good about like just eating your meal, moving on. I will say this on my podcast today. I was talking about the holidays, and one of the things I brought up was the average person consumes. I had to look at different whatchamacallit, different studies. There were some that reported as low as like 3,400 calories and some that reported upwards of 6,600 calories. So I took the average, and it seemed that the average study was showing that the average person consumes around 4,500 calories on Thanksgiving. That's crazy because the meal alone is over 15. It's usually about 2,000 calories. And then you're looking at the appetizers and then the desserts. So, do you have any famous desserts that you like, Scott? Traditional?
Not like holiday traditional desserts.
Yeah.
Those aren't my thing. Like I like 2 desserts in the world. My mom's homemade bread pudding and my wife's homemade carrot cake.
Oh, carrot cake.
But
Oh,
but that is but the carrot cake I only get once a year and it's on my birthday. And the bread pudding, gosh, I don't know when the last time I had it was.
you have a birthday coming up. Your birthday's in December, right?
January 1st.
January. I knew it.
New
That's
Year's
right,
Day.
New Year's baby. I knew it was around the holidays. That's awesome. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna make, you know what my family loves? It's not even a traditional holiday dessert. They love my black and white cookies, a traditional New York staple. My parents are both from New York. They make me make them at every holiday. So I might make them during the day, but I really want to make a cheesecake and a Dutch apple pie because I want a Dutch apple pie with ice cream. Like that's what I want for dessert. So I'm going to make them have that as well. See, look at Elise. I make a pretty neat apple pie. Love it. That's exactly. But I don't like the pie crust one. I like the crunchy crumble on top. That's my fave. So
So my mother-in-law makes a Dutch apple pie. It is the only apple pie I like.
yeah, I love
I
apple
haven't,
pie.
but I haven't talked to my in-laws in 3 years, so I won't be
Yeah.
getting any of that this year.
Yeah. All right. Well, I feel like you're in a good spot. So I will post new workouts. I'll send them to you and then I'll post them on my social media. For sure. Dutch apple pie cheesecake. Oh, yeah. The
So
black and white cookies, family
I'm just gonna
tradition.
these desserts for everybody. This is a
Yeah.
weight loss show, but it is about balance. It is the holidays. If you're going to have a nice coconut cream pie or a Dutch apple pie, now's the time to do it. Memories over
Absolutely.
macros.
Agree. I agree. So that's it. One piece of pie won't ruin you.
Yeah. So
But
enjoy
saying no
it.
to the pie might.
Say no to the what? I'm sorry, you cut out on me.
But saying no to the pie might, because usually if you say no, you end up overdoing it later. I'm not going to have that. Nope. And then all of a sudden you're like, give it to me. Having the whole
Give me
thing.
3 pieces.
Yep. So good
All right.
stuff,
Well, this
guys.
was a fun show. And we love you all, man. You guys are here. You're so active. So fun to hang out with you guys every week. And we'll see you Thanksgiving week next week. so we can talk
Okay.
about more Midwest salads and coconut cream pies. And we will see you all then on the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.